So this guy, whatever, commented this on my last video where I lost my goddamn mind while playing Fallout. Seeing your frustration makes me think you really need to hit up Stalker. I've heard of Stalker before. It's one of those games with a reputation. You know, that word is thrown around a lot these days, so I just want to be clear. Not like how Taylor Swift has a reputation, more like how Stalin has a reputation. And because of that, I knew 3 things about it. It's sad, it's Ukrainian, and it's harder than Jeffrey Epstein at a daycare. I actually thought it was made by the Metro guys, but apparently it's not. I guess radioactive fallout, deplorable living conditions, and horrific violence are all just really common themes in Ukrainian media. I guess they find these things relatable. It must be a recent thing, because until 1991 they were part of the glorious Soviet Union, which was safe and clean and orderly. But the thing is, that dark, depressing, lonely atmosphere, that's the part of Fallout that I really like. That's why I went as far into the game as I did. I was pretty clearly not in the right mindset for that sort of game. But I do love the setting. I'll say it, I love being miserable. My therapist says that's a self-destructive personality flaw, but no, I'm just really deep, you know? I've talked about this in a previous video, but I'm willing to forgive a lot in exchange for an interesting setting. In Fallout's case, I was willing to forgive having 0 goddamn experience with games like it and the slow combat. But in Stalker's case, I'm willing to forgive the fact that this game fucks me sideways every time I play it. I don't like hard games. No, that's not quite right. I don't like games just because they're hard. But I'm absolutely willing to suffer through some bullshit bosses and areas if your game has something else I'm interested in. Bloodborne is one of my favorite games of all time, although this gameplay I'm showing you is not mine because fuck Sony! Put it on PC, you cowards! Anyway, I didn't like it because it was hard. I liked it because its Baroque Victorian aesthetic perfectly complemented the Lovecraftian abominations that inhabited it. This contrast between beautiful ornate architecture and ugly-ass monsters that look like unvaccinated 4-year-olds really appeals to me. Also, you can fist pigs. 10 out of 10.
Hey, stop! Why?
So when I got stuck on a tough boss, I pushed through, not for some sense of pride and accomplishment, but because then I could explore more of the world once I finally beat them. I'm a big fan of From Software games because their world design is top-notch, not because their games are hard. I understand some people love that about them, but I don't really play games to be punished. I play games to have fun. When I want to be punished, I call up my girl Velvet Thunder. For example, Sekiro, which is actually supposed to be pronounced Zekido, but, you know, Snoop Dogg wanted to be called Snoop Lion at one point.
I want to bury Snoop Dogg and become Snoop Lion.
Sometimes it just be like that From Software. Anyway, I never finished Sekiro Lions Die Twice because it just mercilessly kicked the shit out of me over and over, but I wasn't interested enough in the world to push through it. I got all the way to the big monkey, and I honestly only tried to fight him once. I just finished with Snake Eyes Dickhole, or whatever his fucking name is, and just wasn't in the mood. Now, I know, admitting that a game was too hard for me is tantamount to telling everyone on the internet that I have a mangina, but you know what? I sorta do. I'm a delicate flower. I do not like getting the shit kicked out of me by giant monkeys. It's not fun. I don't know what to tell you. Some people really love the feeling of mastering a game, and I just do not give a shit, like not even a little. I really just play games to explore interesting worlds or enjoy thrilling combat. Sekiro's world never really interested me. And I know this next statement will somehow be even more controversial than the last one, but the combat never thrilled me. I'll be completely honest here. I think it's because my reflexes aren't good enough. In other games, I feel like I get to dictate the speed of the fight, and I get to win by being faster. And I just cannot be faster than this. I would have pushed through if the world interested me, but it just never did. Really, a game rewards you for beating a difficult boss or level, not with experience points or in-game currency. You're rewarded by, you know, just getting the next part of the game. And since the world of Sekiro didn't interest me, I never felt rewarded. It's like if every 10 minutes in a movie theater, the movie was stopped and you had to fistfight an usher to get to see the next part. If the usher's a real badass and the first part of the movie bored me, I'm just gonna walk out. So, Stalker. Is it hard? Does it deserve its reputation? Let's see. One shotgun blast directly into his torso at point-blank range, but he walks it off like the badass he is. No problem, I've got a double barrel. I'll just give him the old 1-2. Second round, point-blank, right into his upper body. Thankfully, he remembers his military training. It's a mental game, you know? If you just believe you didn't get shot twice with a gun that can punch a hole in a car door, then you didn't! Third blast. This shotgun kicks like a donkey on bath salts, but he is, of course, fine. He's not gonna let something small like 3 shotgun shells destroying his internal organs keep him down. He's got a hang in there poster on his office wall. He doesn't give up. Finally, after 4 fucking direct hits with a shotgun, he goes down. I'm honestly convinced it was lead poisoning that finally killed him because he's clearly too much of an alpha Chad to let something small like 4 blasts from a 12 gauge kill him. This was on the easiest difficulty. I'm serious. I assume on the hardest difficulty the game just fucking stabs you through the screen. I'm gonna be honest, I went down a rabbit hole after this one. I looked up how bulletproof vests fare against buckshot and watched a few videos. And to be honest, I was surprised. It takes 2 shots for any of the pellets to even penetrate the armor. Although, you know, if the force of 2 12-gauge rounds hit you point blank in the chest, regardless of how much Kevlar you've got on, the sheer force of it would result in your ribcage exploding out the back of your fucking body. You sure as shit wouldn't just walk backwards out of the room while continuing to shoot me the whole fucking time. Obviously, this is bullshit. But I do love this game. These guys in particular are fucking ridiculous, but they're not the enemies you usually come across. Most enemies aren't bullet sponges. The average enemy in this game takes and deals a realistic amount of damage. I mean, I'm guessing it's realistic. It seems about right most of the time. I'm just not sure because I prefer using a knife when hunting the world's most dangerous game. Hookers. The world's most dangerous game is hookers. The game is difficult enough to keep me on edge and engaged at least. If an enemy with a shotgun catches you off guard, they can kill you before you have a chance to react. Is this bullshit? Yes. That is absolutely an opinion I know others don't share, but it's something I intensely dislike. Say what you will about the Marauder in Doom Eternal, at least you can fucking see him before he curb stomps you. If I die in a game, I want it to be because I fucked up. I don't want to die just because I happen to be looking the wrong way. Sure, this game is hard and it fucked up my YouTube recommendations, but I really like it. It's worth it. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely on a watch list now.
Facial recognition got a hit. Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
But this game's atmosphere is truly outstanding. This game reminds me of Fear in a lot of ways, although I think that's mostly the fantastic lighting, and the fact that they both turned their fucking titles into acronyms, which is as stupid as it is tedious, but I digress. The thing about Fear is, it tried to be scary. It is really hard to make a first-person shooter scare you. How could it? You're a fucking badass with a steady hand, immortality, and a camera for a face. What could scare you? Fear's solution to this problem was to just have the girl from The Ring pop up and scream every now and then. It was not very effective. But Stalker? Well, your hand isn't steady. It wobbles because, like the Soviet patriot you are, you're always suffering from alcohol withdrawal. But the real thing that Stalker has is subtlety, which Fear sorely lacks. When I was a kid, my siblings and I were always trying to scare each other. Why? I don't know. Why was the floor lava? Kids are fucking weird. I'm sure other people did this as kids. Anyway, we never really scared each other. We were just startling one another. Someone would pop out and scream, and you'd jump a little, and that would be it. This was mostly something my little brother and I would do. But my sister? Oh, she knew how to scare someone. You see, my family had a cardboard cutout of Rihanna. No, I don't know why. Anyway, one night my sister put it in our bathroom in such a way that you could only see the silhouette of it in the moonlight from the window. My family was pretty strict, by the way, about turning the lights off when no one was in the room. The Cobbler household wasn't just fucking weird, it was also very green. Anyway, that night I stumbled into the bathroom, still half asleep and looking to take a piss, when I saw that silhouette. Listen, I'm not proud of this. I fucking screamed.
Holy fucking shit! What the fuck? What the fuck?
This was a 7-foot-tall Rihanna, okay? It was very scary, and I still have a panic attack every time someone mentions an umbrella. But you see, there's a lesson to be learned from this. Other than don't give your kids a cardboard cutout of a pop star because kids are awful and they'll somehow figure out a way to torture each other with it. I can't recall any time my brother popping out really scared me. He was trying to force it, but my sister? She knew the truth. The best way to scare someone was to just put all the pieces in place so that they can scare themselves. This is a hard thing to pull off in a first-person shooter, so I applaud you, Stalker. My underwear is completely ruined. Well done. But this game isn't just great because it's got some spooky moments. It's the surreal atmosphere of the world that really keeps me going despite how difficult it is. It's not always present. More often than not, you're just shooting dudes in various dilapidated Ukrainian buildings, but every now and then the surreal atmosphere takes center stage, and you feel like you're exploring some Baltic vodka-soaked fever dream. Those weird blurry things are called... I actually have no idea. This game's translation is not great, and I do not have the patience to read the text, so I honestly have no idea what's going on half the time. You're in the radioactive area around Chernobyl, reality's breaking down in these blurry spots, everyone's always shooting each other and pissed off all the time like a good Texan wedding, and you're a stalker. Excuse me, an S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Go fuck yourself, GSC Game World, which apparently is a guy that does... things in the radioactive zone? I really like these places where reality is breaking down. It actually reminds me of the Thinnies from the Dark Tower series, and The Mist, I guess. I haven't read it, I probably should. Shit, I just realized this game has a real Stephen King vibe to it. The intensely surreal atmosphere, all the drinking, the fact that I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Stalker is a fantastic example of what I'm willing to overlook in order to enjoy a game. The shitty translation, the fact that I'm always confused, the difficulty, the fact that my character's aim wobbles because he's a drunk Ukrainian, the ridiculously slow stamina regeneration, the fact that every character talks as if they're about to ask me to go bowling with them.
Come here.
Let's go bowling!
There is an argument to be made that I find the worlds of Stalker and Bloodborne so engrossing because they're also so hostile. And I do think there's some element of truth to that. What is pleasure without pain? Truth without lies? Beauty without bullshit? This is a fair argument. After all, would the world of Stalker feel surreal and alien to me if it was also super welcoming? It probably never would have scared me if the game hadn't demonstrated the fact that it was totally willing to kill me in a second. Earlier in this video, I likened having to beat a tough enemy to having to fight an usher to watch the next part of a movie. But, well, that's not quite accurate, is it? As much as I don't like games that I consider to be difficult or obtuse, these traits can really flesh out a game's world. There's a common axiom that it's better to show and not tell in a movie. But games can do so much more than show or tell. A movie can show you something, but a game can make you feel it. Difficulty isn't just a way for a game to withhold content from you, it's a way to make the game as a whole a more genuine experience. Any game can show you how brutal a world is, but it's all meaningless until a game can make you feel it. Fuck, I'm gonna have to go back to Fallout again.
The darkness of the afterlife is all that awaits you now.
God damn it. Anyway, listen, man. Your game recommendations are on point, but you really gotta work on your username. Thanks for the recommendation. This game certainly has its flaws. For example, I seem to have broken the main quest, but I've had a great time and definitely gotten my money's worth. I liked it so much, I already got the second. I'm sure it's probably easier so that it can appeal to casuals like me. Anyway, I guess it's time to finish reading Debonair Dodo's comment. Oh no, that's not good. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, thank you, didgeridooces.
Бо показав мені силу славного Радянського Союзу.